And my husband said to me, His Excellency, Alhaji Hayat Bello, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, and he said, Oyota, meaning if the sun does not set, you don't need to complain, because a whole lot can happen. But the challenge with cerebral palsy was the fact that we knew nothing about it.
I don't know if anybody had actually explained to you before what cerebral palsy means.
I'd never heard anything about it at that point.
In a layman's language, the way everybody will understand, it means delayed developmental milestone. So what a child is supposed to do at age 1, he might not do it until he's age 3.
So we had to start researching about it.
When we talk about cerebral palsy patients, it's not contagious in any way. It's not contagious, it's not hereditary.
Is that your son?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's not something that can be inherited. It's not something that by shaking them or by hugging them or by having a conversation with them, even among kids, is not contagious. So we need our society to understand that. People don't actually know that they are very intelligent.
Oh, this is the one I won in 2012 at Dubai. We call it a King Fahd competition. It's an Olympic qualifying then towards London 2012. I won this at London.
I need to play with everybody. That's me. I believe that I can do what they can do better. In my own style of playing, I know that I can do it.
They are intelligent, they are friendly, they are inviting.
Harry is very caring, and if we have a particular guest, even say 5 years after, even when the rest of his siblings has forgotten about that person, he still remembers. You see how he'll react when he sees you, I just said it now.
People living with cerebral palsy are even more teachable because they understand that they are handicapped one way or the other, that they have impediments in their brain. Does not mean that their brain does not function. So they are very, very well teachable, and they, to an extent, have their own gifts and talents which are hidden in them. So when you understand them and you bring that out of them, you see that the sky is their limit.
It's not easy, but we try to make things happen. We can't be going to streets to start begging, due to our condition. We just try to want to use our talents to have things in life. That's what we're doing here.
I first of all noticed the challenges were my son, Hayatullah Honora Isabello, when he was about 3 months old. There were some developmental milestone I had expected to see at that level, and I discovered they were not forthcoming.
I met Hayat in 2010, in a private clinic where I was working. He actually came in with his mom.
Most shocking moment for me would be when we were told it was not curable, but treatable. It was somehow mind-boggling because, when you say something is not curable but it's treatable, I couldn't comprehend that. So the doctor went further to explain to us that early intervention was key. We should engage the services of a physiotherapist, a speech therapist, a behavioral therapist, an occupational therapist, and with all fused in one, we should be able to help him to be as functional as possible as he grows older.
With Hayat, we have been moving from one developmental milestone to the other. It's like teaching a child to sit. When the child can sit, you know you have passed that level, you take him to stand. There's a process. When a child sits, he goes into standing, and from standing, some children go into crawling before they actually walk. Some go over crawling. At a point, he was crawling on his chest to move, and then from there, he started going on his knees. Now, if with very minimal support, put one hand in, holding one of your fingers, it could actually walk. And then sitting is okay with him. We're at the point of him being able to walk properly by himself without any support.
We'll do it again. One more time.
So that's the point we are right now. A CP child is a person on its own, is a special person, and it needs to fit into our society one way or the other. In the treatment of cerebral palsy patients, everybody is involved.
However, that most parents with special needs, they kind of lock them behind closed door. You don't want anyone to know they have a special child. They don't talk about them. And at times when you see the family pictures, you don't see the special child in it. That's to show you how much society has pushed some parents to live in denial.
The parents have to agree and accept that this is a child, is my child. Even if you have other children that are normal, they are not physically disabled, you should know that this one is special and it should be given the attention.
And I eventually set out to go to America when we found out that there was a stem cell treatment, and that with the stem cell treatment that he could very much change the whole thing, and he'll become functional, like an average looking child his age, So on getting to America, we went to Johns Hopkins precisely. We were told that they were still going through the test period as far as stem cell was concerned as at then. And we were referred to Kennedy Krieger, which was like a sister rehabilitation center with Johns Hopkins. So while at Kennedy Krieger, I would say I found closure. I call it my aha moment, which was pretty much like the turning point for me, because to stay there for about 5 months, I discovered that there was really nothing wrong with my son in the context of people wanting him to function back home here like an average child. But we had a society that was ignorant about his condition. And that started with the doctors and the therapists I met with. To them, it was just another case, and they were ready to assist in whatever way they could, And up to the point of us enrolling Hayat in a school, we discovered that schools were eager to take him. And when I compare that with the situation in Nigeria, it was a different ballgame, And I said to myself that rather than relocate to America and keep running away from my Nigeria, there's really no place like home, And if anybody is going to change Nigeria, we have to be the one that will change Nigeria to suit us, And I would say that I found my calling. I realized why Almighty God has blessed me with Hayat. And God simply wants me to be that change maker in the lives of the hidden faces, as I call them.
The problem about Nigeria is that, I'm not going to lie, I'll keep saying it, there's no equality. The way they see person on the wheelchair is different before people, the able bodies. They don't respect people living with disability in Nigeria. They're looking at me sitting on the wheelchair like someone that is supposed to be on the street begging. There's not a lot of awareness.
Hayat Foundation, our goal ultimately is to sensitize our society, first of all, about the fact that these people do exist, the special needs community, which is like an umbrella body, as I would say. It comprises of people living with cerebral palsy, people living with autism.
In the developed world, they actually have hospitals for disabled and for children that have this challenge in their milestone. They have an hospital specially made for them. So we don't mind if our governments can actually see that and then see more to it. They should know that they need special care. Because a lot of times they bring them to the hospital and then they bring in a whole lot of patients at the same time. The geriatrics is there, the ortho is there, the neuro is there, and the kids are there as well. Kids need special attention. They need more time than other patients need, which is one of the challenges physio as a physiotherapist or as a medical practitioner attending to them faces.
So what we intend to do again is to also appeal to lawmakers, through sensitization and of course to champion, advocate, for legislations that when there are enabling laws in place It makes life a whole lot easier. I also like to point out at this junction that Hayat Foundation, part of our goal and our vision is to make it a Pan-African initiative. We don't intend to restrict it to Nigeria. So to this extent, we also welcome children from other African countries. I also would like to appeal to our traditional institution to assist mothers with special children. Mothers have been sent out of their matrimonial home for having special children. They should help them reconnect with their families and sensitize them more. It's a medical induced condition and it has absolutely nothing to do with any form of spirituality or another. I also want to appeal to friends or families that have special needs. Show compassion, show empathy. It will not take anything from you, rather it will only improve you as a human being. The school owners to become more open in accepting these children. Our kids are the future leaders, they are the leaders of tomorrow. To this end, we need to have all these children in the same environment. I must stress that they have to be mild cases of the special needs. By having them in the same environment and not isolating them from regular children, the regular kids will begin to develop empathy for them, and together we'll have a more inclusive society devoid of discrimination where everyone is welcome. Let's be the change we want to see. Let's be the change makers. Welcome on board.